what's up everybody? It's Omar. It is January 30th, 2018, 6:47 p.m. in the evening, and I wanted to make a video building my watch list for tomorrow. This will be probably my last watch list build for maybe a little over a week because I just have some things going on at work and I gotta really focus, so I'm probably not gonna be trading after tomorrow for like maybe a week. I'm not sure. I'll keep you posted. So, I get a lot of questions about watch list builds. I mean, if you go to my YouTube page, I literally have 100 videos. I think it's 100 now that I've posted. I mean, there's been gaps in between. But watch all the videos, man, because I talk so much on entries and strategy and all these things. You can go to my video, you can go to my channel, and let's see, it's a little slow. Yeah, 100 videos, guys, 100 videos. All right, and if you go, you can go to, I think, was it playlist or videos? Yeah, playlist. So I have it all like categorized. The indicators I use for my chart for Thinkorswim. These are like the momentum trading fundamentals catalog of videos. It's 12 videos that kind of give you like everything, like how, like this was the very first video I put together when I was in the Bullish Bears group. I did a video webinar for them, kind of talks about more or less like, think of this as 50 Tim Sykes of how to make millions DVD bullshit. It's like an overall trading strategy, like how to how does trading work and stuff. And then you can go through all these, and there's 12 videos here. They're really good. They're really good. I don't know how I got this video here. That's probably an accident, but I got a lot of good information in these videos. I really talk about like entries and exits and where to go, and even in all the even if like the watch list videos, you may not think there's value in any of these, but there's a lot of value in them because I really go into depth and when to buy a breakout, like how a flag is forming and you're gonna get a push, and when to show all those things, man. These are great. Watch the videos. I'm always giving a lot of information. So with that said, I'm gonna build my watch list for tomorrow. Basically what I do is, again, you can go to FinViz and do this. You can do it off Thinkorswim. But this is my criteria. You can make this whatever you want. I look for stocks between 20 cents and $40. I'm going to put 10 cents. Let's put 10 cents because these little shitty stocks have been running lately. I'm going to put 10 cents and $40. Minimum volume of 300,000 shares that are up 3% for the day. And you click scan, you got 80 stocks. So you see the market changes. The market today was down 40, almost 400 points at one point. I think it broke 400 points at one point. And this is, we're spoiled when you get this amount of stocks. Even 80 is a lot. I mean I've had days where we've when the market's really slow, where you get like 10 stocks, 5 stocks, 20 stocks. So and I just go through the charts. So that's the criteria. And this is the scan here. And what I like to generally do is I start with like volume. What is the most? So NSPR was in that criteria was the most traded, 52 million shares traded. And if we look at the yearly here, this stock was at 12 cents back in December 27th, and it's just been running up and down. We had a day where it got up to as high as 32 cents, and now it had a green day. I guess it had some news today, some case transmission. So I guess they have some prevention system. I don't know. They something with some product that they have did well, and it caused the stocks to spike. So this is what I would do, right? What you want to do is you want to look back at the yearly history to see, okay, what happened the last time it had a big green day? So it had 52 million shares traded. That's a lot of shares, right? So we look back in the chart history, and this is a stock that was at over $2 at one point. So let's look down here, down this 12-cent area. The last time it had a big day, this was 68 million shares traded on the 8th. It opened at 21. It opened at 13 cent in a high of 21, low of 13, closed at 20. The next day, It opened at 28 cents, hit a high of 32 cents, hit a low of 27 cents, and I'm sorry, hit a low of 22 cents and closed at 27 cents. So what does that tell me? That tells me that tomorrow there is a potential for a push up. And what I would do here is, you want to make sure that, so there is resistance at that 32 cent level. So, what you probably want to do is you want to add a drawing at that 32 cent level. 32, and it was, it was what was it exactly? It was 32.4. So I would edit this and put 32.4, because that would be the resistance, right? Now what you want to do is, this is how I do this, okay guys? Very simple. All right, the high is 26 cents, right? So what I'm going to do is create an alert. This is all you got to do, guys. This is all what everybody does. Basic support resistance, right? All right, 26 cents. So if breaks and holds 26 cent, buy breakout. If rejects, shorts. If it rejects it, then you short it. Now, the thing about trying to short a stock like this is that you need the broker to have the shares to short. Okay, like Thinkorswim is a hard to borrow stock. Like, so with Thinkorswim, you need $100,000 in your account in order to even qualify for the hard to borrow program, which is very unusual. With interactive brokers or Centerpoint, you might be able to find shares to short. But it all depends. Now, if you notice here, it is in this kind of upward trend. If you notice, let me get out of this. Sorry about this, guys. And I'll try not to make this video too long. And if you notice, this is what I wanted to do. It's like it's riding this is the 200-day simple moving average, the 50-day simple moving average, and VWAP. So it's sort of like in this bullish trend. You see how it's forming this channel, this wedge channel is going up. So tomorrow at the open, there's a potential for it to go up. But remember, you have that resistance at 32 cents. So and it's still below on the yearly the 200 moving average, which is 40 cents. So if it breaks 32, I think it could potentially run to 40, but I don't know if it will. The Dow, is the Dow is down. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see what's up. All right. So that's the entry. Now, if what you can do is, let's say the stock tanks at the open, well, you want to find a clear support level to potentially buy. And if you look at it, the clear support level seems to be, the low seems to be here at this 21 cent range. So what I would do is I would create another alert to say, at that 21 cent 0.16 level, say potential dip buy on panic sell if sells at open. So what that means is, let's say the market opens and this thing tanks, it may potentially bounce off this support level, okay, and you can dip buy it for a quick pop. All right, now we'll see. All right, let me create my watch list. I'm gonna create watch list. Tomorrow's the 30th, right? Yeah, tomorrow's I don't know, dude. Is there 31 days in January? I don't even know. Let's see. There is 31 days in January, so it's 1/31/18. All right, so we're gonna put NSPR tomorrow for potential buy at the open if it breaks and holds. Now remember, guys, I've been telling you this, and if you go to my Twitter, I gave you some great examples today. I'll review like Twitter or one of the stocks or Momo just to show you. But remember, if it breaks 26, guys, you don't really want to buy the breakout. You want to see it break above it and pull back and hold that 26 level before you buy the breakout. Because what happens is sometimes the stock will break out and then just completely wash and tank. So you got to be careful if you're thinking about longing. You want to see a clear support level, all right, before you go long. All right, otherwise you short it. Like if it rejects the 26 level, then it's a great short. All right, so moving on. IMMY, this stock, gapped up to 270 pre-market and then just washed, and it's at kind of if you notice here, it retraced. Now these are my Fibonacci automatic fibs I have. It did like kind of dip below that 50% retracement, but then gapped up and then kind of washed and got too close to the 61% retracement and kind of gapped back up. But we're not getting a lot of bounce these days. And you know, if you look at it, had the gap fill. So usually when you get this, a lot of times it'll give it all back. You know, actually this may be a potential short tomorrow, back to that, you know, the high, which would be 171. Right now it's 185, so it's not that far off. I'm not gonna put it on the watch list. You know, I don't. You know, look at that. It got rejected right on the 200-day simple moving average on the daily. Look at that. That's why it's great. That's why I like the 200. That's 200 SMA is like super powerful. You know, am I gonna put it on the watch list tomorrow? Nah. I mean, the last time I had a gap fill, let's look. You know, this is. You just want to look at the chart history to see what, you know, if things repeat themselves. This day held its highs, but then the next day it gave it all back, you see? And then that gap filled below. It doesn't really, look at this. It gives it all back. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do anything. I'm not going to put it on the watch list. Next up, CLD. This is some bullshit. GERN. And I'm just going by the most volume, and then I'll probably switch up to the percentage, highest percentages. This stock is up. I don't know. It's had 2 green days with a lot of volume. 6 million shares yesterday, 13 million today. So there's volume here. This is a stock that has gone up as high as 315. It's at 275 now. Well, its high was at 275. Do I think it can get back up there? I don't know. I mean, what was the news on it? I don't even see the news here. There's no news here on Thinkorswim, but there probably was news on it. I don't even know what kind of company is this. Let's see. Biotech. Yeah, biotechs are still running. So it probably was some biotech news. You know what? Just because it's been moving over the last 2 days and it has all this volume, that I don't know if it's going to get above 275. You do have some overhead resistance, but you know, you have this gap to fill above actually at actually filled the gap actually. So yeah, 292. There's a lot of resistance over at the in the 290 level. So you know, and you see how here, if you look at the yearly, got up to that that too low of like 270, 275, and then kind of like tanked. So do I think it's gonna get back up to $3? I'm not sure. But you know what? There's no hurt in putting it just because it's been on this tear. Let's do that. So we're gonna create an alert. At 275, buy, breakout, if holds 275. So remember, if it breaks above 275, it has to break. You want to see it break out. You want to see it or short rejection. All right. So again, if it breaks 275, you want to see it break above it and then pull back and hold. Okay. That's what you want to see, all right? And then you go buy it. Like here's an example. Like here today, at this point, this was high a day. Let me show you what you do. All right, so here's that. At this point, this was high a day, which was what was this? High was 249. I have 255 here, so let me edit that. 249. All right, so this is the high day. Oops, no. What the heck am I doing wrong? All right, what's high? What's the high of this? Yeah, it was 255. Oops, sorry about that, guys. All right, so this is the high day, 255, right? Because the pre-market, it gapped up to 255, right? So none of this has happened yet. So you set your trend line there to know, all right, or you create an alert to say, all right, buy the breakout. Look what happens. It got up to 255, rejected 255. So you could have took a short there all the way down to 240. Look, the 200 simple moving average, it was its support. Look at that. So it gaps up, and look what happens. This is the proof that I want to show you guys. Look what happens. Here it breaks high a day, right? Look what happens. It gets to 260 and then it pulls back. And you see how it forms a higher low here? A higher low, 258. This is your entry, risking this. That's how you buy breakouts. You just don't buy a breakout. Like when you watch Ross Cameron Cameron Ross from Warrior Trading, he tells you like to buy the breakout. Like this is stupid. It's a strategy that's gonna get you crushed. You you know, what you want to do is you want to see it break out, pull back, and hold, and then you buy the breakout. And if you follow my strategy and you caught that, look, you could have rolled this up to a minimum of 268. You know, kind of retraces back, but it's still above the breakout level, and then it got another push right above it. And you can, you know, what you want to do is you want to use trend line. So if you see it, you know, gapping up, you know, you know, it's important to use trend lines. If you see a stock going in a trend, sorry about this, guys. What is wrong with me? Okay, here we go. So, you know, if you see a stock going in a trend, you want to see the stock in, you know, going in that trend until it breaks the trend. You're good to go. All right, so that's how you buy breakouts. That's how you buy breakouts. Okay, you know, on the daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. That's how you should be buying breakouts. Okay, so maybe this thing has another opportunity. Now what you want to see is, you know, if it holds this and it looks like it found its support level here at that low of 249, you want to see what it's going to do. If it breaks below 249, you know, it could potentially wash, you know. But I would like to see if it's going to break two. I wouldn't even look at this unless it broke unless it really broke 275. I'll put it on the watch list just for that. Okay, next up, HIMX. This thing ripped. This thing went from 13 yesterday low 1358. Now it's at 1537. Nice, you know. Had this nice move at the market open. You know, got up to a high 1535, retraced back to 14 and ripped. So this stock moves with range. What caused this to move? Shares on inclusion in S&P small cap. Also, they added this. From HIMX networks honors. I don't know, some bullshit. Jim Cramer thought on Extreme X with Verizon and more. I don't know. Well, this is moving on some bullshit news probably. Now, what interests me about this stock is, let me clear this. I've traded this stock before. It has a lot of range. I shorted it quite a few times. Now, look where it is. You see it has this gap to fill below. So the low of this candle is 1445. The high is 1537. The low here is, the high is 1388. This would be my #1 watch tomorrow for potential short, because I would think that it's gonna fill the gap below. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe it continues to go high, but it should fill the gap below. Now, what you do is you look at the yearly and you say, okay, when has it done? Has it done this before? Look at great example right here. It was at 7. It went from, this was March 28 last year. It went from 660. The next day it opened at 796, hit a high of 711. And then kind of filled the gap below. You know, it didn't get all the way down, but you know, to that gap below price. But it close. It got down to 688. And this high here was 656. So a partial gap filled below. And then it, you know, kind of ran and went on this run. You know, the last time, and then it had this other gap fill where it went from 890 to like 939, and then it went on this tear. So you know what? And it did it here too. But on this day, when it on March 3rd, the following day, it kind of you know, started giving it back. So, you know, this stock does have range. I mean, it seems to keep going. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at it for two perspectives. We're gonna create two alerts. One at 1537. So buy breakout if holds 1537, or short the rejection. So if it clearly rejects it and it starts tanking, you know, you can short off that. All right, so that's one. And then we want to see where the support is, which seems to be here at that 1488 level. So what I like to do, honestly, is if it breaks below the 200 simple moving average and VWAP, I would probably short risking the simple 200 moving average. That's a little bit more technical. I like to do that. But the safest way is to kind of short the breakdown of support. You know, and the clear support level here, it seems to be, let me make sure it's 1488. Is it 1488. So we're gonna create another alert to say, now it doesn't mean that it's gonna, what we want to check to see, it could be a potential dip buy. So potential short or dip buy at 1488, meaning, right, let's say the market opens and this thing starts tanking. It may come to this 1488 level, and you know, all the people that are taking their profit take it, new buyers come in and then drive the stock up, and then it just starts going on a tear. Or it gets to the 1488 level and people panic sell, and they just start selling, and then this thing dumps, you know. So that's what we're looking for tomorrow. Okay. And you know, I got a question today from someone. They messaged me and they say, "Hey Omar, you know, I don't know, you know, what should I be looking at?" I'm like, you build your watch list and focus on your watch list. Don't worry about anything else that's going on. If you got a watch list with entries and exits, focus on that. You know, when you get more experience, then you can kind of deviate. But the best strategy is to always have a plan for the stocks that you're looking at to play. And if the opportunities don't present themselves, don't trade. That's what happens. People force trades because of boredom or whatever. And they see people on Twitter and they think they need to trade. And then they wind up losing money. You know, this is what you want to do. All right. So next up is FUSZ. I don't like to see this. Even though this is moving, I mean, this thing's at 10 cents 4 days ago, and now it's up to 24 cents. I mean, this could be a potential swing trade. I mean, it's getting more volume every day, so it could potentially move. But you see how choppy this is? I bet you not even a lot of people traded this. So this is kind of a garbage stock to me because it doesn't have a lot of volume. But it is, I mean, look at the freaking move it had from 8 cents to 28 cents. That's pretty significant. And the volume continues to increase. So I don't know what it's going to do. But it doesn't have a lot of volume. You know, to me, it's not enough. But the volume is increasing. And, you know, this stock has gone to a high of 51 cents. So it went from 14 to 51 cents in one day. So, you know what? I'm going to put it on the watch list. Just cause maybe other people will do this and maybe it runs tomorrow. I don't know. Would I really be trading this? Probably not, unless it got some significant volume at the open. And I would not look at this unless it got above that 28 level. So just for kicks, especially for you guys who have very just for you guys who have very small accounts, maybe this is a potential. So if volume presents its with a buy, breakout, if holds 28, needs volume. All right, definitely needs volume. Okay, so I'll put that there just for that. We'll see. Maybe it keeps running. I don't know. I mean, I would have to do more research on the stock. Next up, HIMX. HIMX is a stock that I've traded several times. This is a stock that was up at one point at $13, and it just completely tanked since then. It's had its first green day after it's been demolished. Now, would I be looking to play this? Maybe because it's been so beaten down. Now it might have a run up like it did here. I don't know. I don't know too much about the fundamentals, but the last time it was in this range, it started running again. And if we look at the Fibonacci, it's at the 61% retracement of 834. It did get down to 802, so maybe you might see a move. So you know what? Sorry about that. I'm in New York, and it's always loud here. So we'll see. We'll put. The only way I would look at this if it broke above and held 864. So we'll put it on here, and I'll put like one or two more stocks, and then I'll call it a day. So buy, breakout, if holds 864. So remember, guys, it has to break above 864 and then retrace back or close to it and hold. So that way you have a clear entry. Okay. And the 50-day and 200 simple moving average is at on the yearly is 977 and 1082. The 200's at 926. So I would be looking to see if it can get to that 9. If it gets to that 926 mark and breaks above it, and it can continue to move up. Maybe a potential swing trade. We'll see. All right, let's look at a couple of others. AVP. Nah, I don't like it. Look at this. It got to 289 pre-market and just tanked all day. This was 2 days ago. It's been flat. AKAO is a stock that had a nice move today. It opened at let's see. It's at 2 green days. Oh, it has this gap fill below. It opened at 1082, hit a high 1131, low 1070, closed at 1106. So I would only be looking now. Let's look at the yearly. So if we look at the yearly. All right, get out of here. Let's close this out. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, so on the yearly, this stock has had, you know, a run. Look at this thing, got to $27. So you know, it has a habit of moving when it gets volume. You know, this is a stock that got to a high of 27, then just been beaten down all the way to $10, and now it's starting to move again. It does have this gap to fill below, which, you know, kind of makes me concerned that maybe it might give it back. But you know, it's right there holding that 50-day moving average, and you know, you know, there's a lot of resistance overhead, but it could be the potential of another run. So what we'll do is, I'm trying to see if when the last time I had this like a gap, did it fill the gap below? I don't see it, and it was 1 million yesterday and 4 million today. So you know what? We'll put it on the watch list. I definitely want to put AMD on the watch list because I just saw what happened after market, so we'll put that as well. So we're gonna say buy breakout if holds 1293, or short rejection. All right, so that's when I would want to look at it. It has to be up at this level, or you know, it's a Fibonacci. If you notice, it's interesting. Look at this. Stock gaps up, retraces back to that 61% level on the money, and then just took off. You know, Fibonacci is awesome. It doesn't always work because nothing's perfect, but it's pretty reliable. Now, it's at this 1208 level. Now, I would say if it breaks below, what's the low here? 1225. Well, it's already below that. It's actually, no, 1235 right now. So I would say if it breaks below that 1225, 1224 level, where is it here? Yeah, 1224. So let's do this. So we're gonna add another potential dip buy or short at 1224. All right, so what I mean by that is if it breaks below the 1224 level, actually this thing hit what, 1220? Why is it showing low 1225? Why is it not? Oh, because I got a 1217 replace. All right, potential, let me write that again, potential short or dip buy 1224, right? Because that looks like the clear support level, and I don't know what I'm doing here wrong. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see. All right, so I want to delete that one. All right, there we go. So what I want to see is this stock, if it breaks below this, like, so what's gonna happen is, let's say market opens, it pulls back, it kind of gets to this level, holds, and then runs, then you dip buy it. But if it breaks below it, it could be a potential short, you know. Now what I like to do is I like to look at my fib levels to see if it holds one of the fib levels for a potential dip buy too. All right, that's why I have these here. All right, and remember with Fibonacci, it's, again, just to remind you, I have videos on this, but basically what I do is you ride a trend over a 2-day period. You take the low point to the high point, or the high point to the low point. So here's 1070 would be the low point, right? And then the high point is at 1293. So what I'm doing is, let's see, is it 1293? Let me edit it. 1293. And what you say, so here's the trend. So right now, you know, you started from the low point all the way up to the high point, and you're looking to see that retracement. So right now it's still sort of in a bullish trend because it's only retraced up to 32% from the high. It needs to, basically the trend, supposedly the trend is over when it breaks below that 61% level, meaning everyone's taking their profit. That's kind of how that's sort of like the theory of Fibonacci. You know, so that's sort of how it works. That's what, so I just wanted to show you that. But we shall see what happens. All right, so we're gonna put this on the watch list, AKAO, and let's put AMD, and then I'm gonna end the video, and then I'll look to see if I add a couple of other stocks. Now look what happened here. This is pretty wild. So after market, here, let me remove this. there was some news. I guess it's earnings season, so I guess they had some bad earnings or whatever, and the stock just tanked from 13.55 to 11.88. And then look at that, you could have bought the dip post market. The stock got as high as 13. Where is this? 13.19. Yeah, 13.19. So what I would like to do then, I think tomorrow this is gonna tank, and it's gonna start tanking pre-market, and it's gonna create a great swing. I hope this gets down to like $9-8 because I'm gonna buy like 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares of the stock and just hold it over until it gets back to that $13 range. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create 2 alerts. So the actual areas that would make sense to me is buy breakout if holds 1321, all right, or short rejection if it gets back to this level. I don't think it will. Who knows? And right now you see it's at that 51% retracement. It's holding it, but I think tomorrow that maybe I'm wrong, but I think tomorrow it's gonna tank, but maybe not. We'll see. I didn't read the news, but it's so crazy how it's literally on the 50% retracement level, which is at 1271. And if you look at it, 1271, and look at that, retrace 50% and just freaking kept going. It's amazing. Fibonacci's fucking awesome. But all right, so but I'm gonna create an alert because if it breaks below that 1271, so break below 1271, potential short. Let's see where it's at right now. It's at 1294, or dip buy, meaning it might go back to that level. It might run up to that 1321, right? Reject it and probably gap all the way back down to 1271, hold, and then run again. We'll see. It might trade in that range. I don't know. Or it breaks below 1271, just completely tanks. Pre-market tomorrow, this is going to be, I think this is going to be the #1 stock traded tomorrow, AMD, because of the range. We'll see. It's going to be very crowded tomorrow. All right. So those are the stocks that I'm going to put on my watch list for now. Now, the other way I filter is sometimes like I did it by volume. Another way to do it is I do by highest percentage. So I look through the highest percentages and to see, and to look at stocks to see like this was 29% up, 29%, but it's garbage. And then these stocks don't have really no volume to really be looking at. But it's weird, like a stock like KZEA, which no volume, was $1.63 on November. Now it's at almost $6. It's just been running wild. It doesn't have no volume though. It's not very traded, but it could be potential swings. You could look at those. Those sometimes are good gems you could swing trade. So you see, you could look back, but you see all these high percentage gainers that we see here don't have a lot of volume. This one has 1.3 million shares, so it's liquid enough to trade. And look at this, has a gap to fill below. This, to me, a stock where I would be looking if it breaks below $13. I would probably be looking to short it, especially if it breaks below 1274. This may be something I might put on the watch list. Let me see, is it? And it's easy to borrow. It's some bullshit company too. It's probably going to be a great short tomorrow. So I may watch this. I may add this, but not a lot of action. So hope you found this useful. I'll look at a couple of other stocks. I think I may add Twitter and a couple of others, and I'll post it on to the I'll post it up on Twitter. All right, folks. So hope you found this helpful. This is how I find my stocks. It's not rocket science. Look, this is a stock that, KTOS, look at that. It's holding its highs. It will be on my watch list tomorrow. I'm definitely going to put this, so I'll add this. All right, guys. So hope you found this helpful. Have a great night, and I'll post this on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and share. Have a great evening.